Sharp Objects, Episode 7, Falling. Before I get into it, I just want to say this episode really drove me insane. I mean, it was just so much going on. There's so many questions that I want to ask. There's just a lot of wrong. It's just too much. It's just too much going on. Okay. So it's opening up with Camille walking into the living room and looks at the model house the dollhouse that the little girl Alma has. Well, she's not a little girl, but the dollhouse that Alma has, that she's been playing with. And she was looking at it and she wakes up, but it was a dream, of course. Adora is in Camille's room and she's watching her sleep. She's talking to her kind of nice and trying to take care of her. So as Camille tries to get up, she puts her hand on her chest like to lay her back down. And of course, Camille catches a flashback of her doing that. There's a lot going on with that. And I knew something weird was with Adora. But to be this weird, it's ridiculous. So, Camille gets up. She's like, no, no, I just want to get up. And I have work to do. Her foot looks kind of bruised and swollen. And so, she said to her, well, you make sure you come back to me. Or whatever, you come back home or whatever. So I'm like, this woman is tripping out. So Adora tells Camille that her mom, not Adora, I'm sorry, Alma tells Camille that her mom takes care of her afterwards. Meaning her mom knows that she gets wasted, so her mom takes care of her afterwards. Now, I didn't know what kind of taking care of she was talking about, but as it goes, you will see it starts to unravel. Chief Vickery and the police are at Ashley's home where John King lives. And they found blood under the bed. Now, they always thought he was the one that did it, because he's very sensitive. He cries or whatever the case may be. They have this small town is a mess. I mean, I've known for small towns to have some crap with them, but this small town takes the cake. Wind Gap takes the cake. So, Vickery wants Ashley to help with finding John and wants to help with whatever, that's going on with the case, that could crack the case. And of course, all she's concerned about is how Faye's be in the newspaper. That's all she's concerned about. And Chief Vickery made that statement when he was in the diner with Richard, about, the women in this town, all they care about is their face in the paper and, a little notoriety. Okay, so Adora and Alma, these two are the sickest folks I've ever seen in my life. I'm starting to think that Camille is the normal one out of all of them. Even though she got her mess with her, she got her issues, but to me she's normal than Adora and Alma and Alan. Those three are a hot mess. Alan sits there and listens to that stupid radio, and he knows what the heck is going on. He pissing me off. Now, I don't know what type of hold that Adora has on him, but he need to get his crap together. Or maybe it's the money that is making him not see certain things. Okay? There is definitely a cover-up with Marian. There's definitely a cover-up. And Richard is prying. He's digging deep. And, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's starting to unravel. So Camille goes into the diner and asks, do you know where I can get a drink from or whatever? And the guy said, well, you can go to Beantown. Now I was like, Beantown? So when they went to town, when she was driving to the town or whatever, it's a lot of Mexicans that live there. And I think that's kind of messed up that they would call that town Beantown. because of the Mexicans that lives there. That's kind of messed up. Not kind of, it is messed up that they would say that. That's messed up. And so as she's asking for 2 drinks, there's John sitting at the table, and she takes the drinks over to him. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm just having a drink before I get arrested." So they start to talk and everything. And I had a feeling something wasn't right with those two when they went outside and he was, talking to her in a certain way. I just had a feeling. But Camille wants to help him because she knows he didn't do this. She knows this. But she wants to help him. But the town is just, I think the town just wants him, to close his case and be done with it. Or whatever. So Richard, he is digging, he's finding out stuff, he is reading things, and it is just sickening what's coming up. And of course, Jackie's name is on the paper. So Camille takes John back to the motel. And I guess someone spotted him because here goes Chief Vickery, and he texts Richard, hey, they spotted John. And Camille and John are in the room. He's talking to her. He sees scars on her. And he was like, "Let me see them, Camille. Let me see them. Let me see them." And he's taking off her shirt and he's reading the back. And of course she's trying to resist, but he's reading them. He's looking at them, and takes off her clothes, and he's reading all of the scars. And she's just feeling some type of way. And then he goes in, he's doing something down there with his face. Yeah, I know what he's doing. And then they have sex, which I was like, "No, Camille, what are you doing? Don't do that." But they did. And I knew that they was going to get busted. I knew. I was just sitting there like my stomach in knots. Like, oh my God, they are going to bust this. And it's going to be like, I just can't take it. So, which happens to happen. So now it goes back to the house. Alma is running through the house looking through Camille things because her friends came roller skating up to the house, and Adora's like, "No, because you're not coming back today." She's not coming out. She's not feeling well. And so Alma has 2 cell phones. So her mother took one and she has the other one. So now she goes back into her bed. And her mother comes in there and giving her medicine and telling her, "Can I have the other cell phone, please?" And I'm like, oh my God. So of course Alma gives her mother the cell phone. And now this girl has nothing. So that's why she was running around the house like a damn crazy person, because she wanted to get on social media. She wanted to talk to her friends, but she could not. Okay, so Richard and Chief Vickery bust into the hotel room and finds Camille in the bed. She has her shirt on, but she's in the bed and John is half naked. So Chief Vickery said, "Well, I'm going to put your clothes on, whatever the case may be." And he looks at Camille and he says, "Son, are you legal?" And he says, John says, "I'm 18. So, he gets arrested. They take him outside. He gets arrested. And here comes Richard. And I knew Richard was going to go in because he was starting to like Camille. But after seeing this, it's like, ugh. They exchanged a few words. And she was like, we didn't do anything. He was like, "I can smell you in here. I know what that smells like." I was like, oh my God. No, he didn't go there. But he did. He absolutely went there. So, he gets mad, and he was like, Richard calls her a drunk and a slut. He was like, "I just thought you were just a broken person, but in actuality, you're just a drunk and a slut." And I was like, "No, Richard, this is wrong of you. Don't do that." But he did. He did. So when Richard leaves, and he threw the file in Camille's car. Okay, because when she comes out the hotel room, she gets in her car and she starts looking through the files, and she is about to break down. She calls her her boss, and his wife picks up the phone, and she's just like, she couldn't even really talk. So, you know, the wife was getting worried, and she was telling the boss that, hey, my mother is the one that did this, you know, and I gotta fix this. My mother, he was like, no, please just come home. Just get on a plane and come home. But she didn't do it. She just hung up the phone. So Camille goes to Jackie's house, and they have a talk, and Jackie fixes her a Bloody Mary and give her a pill. And this lady's a hot mess. She's just a hot mess. But she knows a lot about that family, and I think that's why Adora don't want to talk to Jackie or be around her, because Jackie can expose the family, but Jackie's not going to say anything. But it's just that time, and I think that's why Jackie is drinking and on meds, because she knows a lot about that town. She knows what Adora has done, and because of money, you know, things can get covered up. So Marian is cremated. So I guess they cremated Marian so that they could do an autopsy. Well, they couldn't find out anything else. But Marian is cremated. Adora killed Marian, giving her medicine, making her sick, you know, trying to keep her in the house. That woman is something crazy. But when they was going through the flashbacks, when Camille was having her flashbacks, she saw her mom bite her daughter, you know, bite Marian when she was a baby. And I'm like, what is going on with this family? I mean, Jesus. So, you know, as Adora's in the kitchen fixing stuff, Alan is watching. She takes the stuff upstairs to Alma, and you can tell he knows something. He puts on this album he was playing, and he just started reminiscing about Alma and him dancing around the house and singing. And he knows something. And this is what pisses me off. Alan is not saying anything. Why don't he say something? Why don't he do something? But he just letting Adora just destroy everything. And he just sits there with that dumb headset on and just try to black out everything, but he can't. It's going to come down, and it's going to, I don't know what's going to happen, but he's going to go crazy. He should. And so, you know, it ends there. So next week's supposed to be really crazy. But what I found interesting was the song. The song at the end of the episode. I listened to the lyrics. It was very disturbing to me. Let me see how can I explain it to you. It's a song about, I was trying to hear who was singing it, a woman or a man. It sounded like a man. It was a song about a guy killing a little girl. And if you have money, you can get away with murder. And let me tell you something. As disturbing as that song is, it fit the profile for this episode. It matched perfectly. And I was just like, wow. I was like, I said, this song is ridiculous, but it matched the scene. And I was like, someone actually sung a song about killing a little girl. And when you have money, you can get away with murder. That is sick and disturbing altogether. This episode has made my stomach turn inside out and stressed me out to the max. But it was good, and it's only going to get better next week. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you guys really get into the show. It's really good. You will love it. Trust me, you will love it. All right, so that's all that I have for you today. I will talk to you later. Bye.